My original plan for this video was just to have it be a straight-up review of the 25th anniversary of Monday Night Raw, which happened last night. And by the way, I have to applaud the WWE for actually using the word anniversary in the proper context for this show. For those of you who've been watching my channel for a while, I've often made fun of WrestleMania 25, which they called the 25th anniversary of WrestleMania, which is incorrect and an incorrect usage of the word anniversary. But in this case, they used it correctly, so I'm not going to criticize them for it. But so yeah, this video was going to be just a straight-up review of Raw 25, but then certain news broke earlier today, and I feel like I kind of have to talk about that. And there's one more thing regarding the Royal Rumble that I want to throw on top of the fire as well. So I'll get into that real quick, and then I'll talk about Raw 25. So jumping right into it, Enzo Amore has been stripped of the Cruiserweight title, has been let go by WWE. I believe he's been fully released, if I read the article correctly. And this is due to rape allegations that have been thrown his way. Apparently, a woman claims that he raped her back in October of last year, and those allegations have seen the light of day, and now Enzo Amore is bye-bye while he's going to be dealing with all the legal issues that go hand in hand with this type of thing. And I'm not going to sit here and defend Enzo or bash him. In my opinion, it's innocent until proven guilty. I don't know any of the facts of the case. It's just allegations that have been thrown his way, and that's literally all I know. I don't know if any other news is out there, but all I know is that he's been accused of rape. That's all I know. I don't know if it's true. I don't know if it's not true. That's something for the courts to decide, and we'll find out in the weeks and months to come. But in the short term, this impacts the WWE programming because they just lost their Cruiserweight champion. And the guy that's really been the focal point of the division, of the Cruiserweight division, whether you like that or not, it's like, man, they're losing one of their champions. He was going to defend the title at the Royal Rumble, and now, obviously, plans have got to change. I know, I didn't watch SmackDown, but I know Daniel Bryan made some kind of an announcement regarding the Cruiserweight Championship. But isn't the Cruiserweight division still a Raw exclusive thing? So what is Daniel Bryan making announcements about the Cruiserweight division for? I don't know. It's bizarre. In any case, yeah, this is an unfortunate situation, and it'll be interesting to see how everything plays out. I don't think the Cruiserweight division was in a very good place anyway, whether they kept Enzo or not. I think the best thing that Enzo brought to the Cruiserweight division was that he was a heel that could get heat, and that kind of gave it somewhat of a direction, but there were a bunch of problems with the Cruiserweight division that, you know, one heel character isn't going to fix. The style of matches, the fact that wins and losses don't mean all that much, the repetitive tag matches, various other things. You know, it's a bunch of booking mishaps that led into the Cruiserweight division being what it is today. And I don't think keeping Enzo or losing Enzo is going to improve things or hurt things any more than they already are. It's just going to be a short-term effect on the program that's they're going to have to scramble to come up with a plan B and fix it. So that's really all there is to it. If you want a good Cruiserweight division, just watch the junior heavyweights in New Japan. I mean, that match they had at Wrestle Kingdom pretty much blew any Cruiserweight action that the WWE's had out of the water, minus the initial Cruiserweight Classic, which included guys like Zack Sabre Jr. and Kota Ibushi, so there you go. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they switch gears and you know, determine a new champion and everything, but I don't know if that's going to fix the long-term issues with the Cruiserweight division as it stands now, so again, we'll just have to wait and see. And I mentioned Daniel Bryan. Speaking of him, apparently the betting odds, which, that's weird to me. How can there be betting odds on something that's scripted? That's bizarre to me. I don't know if that should even be allowed. It's like, dude, guys, we know it's fixed. How can you bet on something that's fixed? I don't get it. But anyway, the betting odds for the Royal Rumble have certain guys like high up there as high probables to win it. Dolph Ziggler's one of the higher ones up there, as I kind of alluded to in my preview video. John Cena's up there, Roman Reigns is up there. But another one that's kind of shot up in the betting odds has been Daniel Bryan. I don't know if that means anything. It would be a hell of a surprise. It would be nice to see Daniel Bryan back in the ring, assuming he's healthy enough to go and is capable of working a style that's both entertaining and safe for him. And it would be a nice surprise heading into WrestleMania. I mean, we would probably get AJ versus Bryan out of that, or Bryan versus Lesnar, which, given that Bryan had to step away from the ring due to injury, Brock Lesnar is not the guy I would want him to work with, just for his own safety. Brock is not... I don't know. Brock worries me. Brock can be a little... I mean, there's a reason why WrestleMania 19... There's a reason why that show I didn't want to watch it initially because I was scared to death that Kurt Angle was going to die. So, fortunately, everything turned out okay. Actually, Lesnar was the one that almost died. But, yeah, given the choices, I would prefer Bryan versus AJ. But in any case, and granted, AJ's hurt some guys with the Styles Clash, but that was more them taking the move wrong than AJ doing anything wrong. But, anyway, it'll be very interesting to see if they pull that rabbit out of the hat and they give us a nice surprise. I mean, if it's Cena or Reigns, which most of us are expecting, I think those will be met with groans, if not outright just venom from the fans, because it's like, who fucking cares, really? But, yeah, it'll be very interesting to see what they do come Royal Rumble time. I mean, again, I'm still going into it with the expectation that we're going to get either Reigns or Cena, but, they have a couple chances to kind of freshen it up a little bit and do something a little crazy. So we'll see if they do anything like that. But I'm not going to get my hopes up for Daniel Bryan coming back and winning the Royal Rumble, although it would be awesome if they did. But yeah, so moving right along from there, I guess I'll talk about the 25th anniversary of Monday Night Raw, which happened last night. And I didn't completely hate the show. There were some things I liked. I thought the IC title match was really good between Roman Reigns and Miz. I thought the finish was really well done, actually. I thought it was a very entertaining match. Got a cool title change out of it. I'm like, okay, that's pretty good. I enjoyed that match. It probably, Roman dropping the IC title probably means that he's being freed up for the WrestleMania main event, but, I mean, I'll take it. It was a really good match, and the guy I liked won the belt, so, okay, cool. Elias getting over on John Cena was cool to see, even though it probably means Cena's just going to eliminate him at the Royal Rumble anyway. But, yeah, what is that with these Legends shows where they bring back the Legends and they come out and just beat up the young guys for no reason? Typically there's like a guy that's like making fun of old people and then the old people come down and beat the crap out of him, but to me it's like Heath Slater was doing that gimmick. I remember Rob Conway kind of did that gimmick for a while. But in this case, it's like, alright, the Dudley Boys came down and beat up Heath Slater. Why? Why'd they do that? John Cena comes down, interrupts Elias, and challenges him to a fight. Because he's a dick? Like, what? I mean, I don't know. Elias, like, beating the crap out of him, it was like, yeah, I don't blame him. Fuck that guy. He interrupted him. I don't know, that's kind of weird to me, but overall I didn't like completely hate the show, but it was very similar to all the other Legend shows, or like the old school Raws, or the 1000th episode, or the Raw Homecoming show when they first went back to USA, where it's just like, oh, let's bring out all these old people and we'll recreate stuff from the past, and that's pretty much all it was. Switching back and forth between the Brooklyn venue and the Manhattan Center, which, seeing the Manhattan Center again was actually pretty neat. I wish the entire show had been there, but it was very awkward switching back and forth between the two. It was cool to see JR and the King, even though they didn't have much to do, but yeah, they just brought out all these legends, and most of them just stood there on the stage and did nothing. Although most of the divas that they brought back, it's like, man, they still look good. Tori Wilson is gorgeous still. I'm like, damn, you go, girl. She looks like she hasn't aged a day. Trish still looks good. Lillian Garcia still looks good. She's like in her mid-50s, isn't she? I mean, I know she was older, but I'm like, damn, Lillian still looks really good. I was like, wow. But you open up the show with the whole McMahon bit, and Steve Austin comes out and gives him the stunner, which I've seen 9 billion times. And, Undertaker comes out and cuts a promo that leads to absolutely nothing. I was expecting, it's like, all right, I'm praying to God it's his retirement speech, but I think it's going to set up whatever his WrestleMania match is. It didn't do either one. He just came out, talked, and left. And I was like, okay, what the fuck was the point? Okay, so all the people that tuned in to see Taker just saw that. Okay, that felt like a waste of time. Another DX reunion, which is, I think they do one at the 1000th episode of Raw, and it's like, okay, it's the same thing they did back then, only now everybody's older. And oh, hey, they brought out Razor Ramon. Alright. And they beat up the Revival. Yay! One of my favorite tag teams gets beat up for no reason by the old guys. Isn't that great? So, they did do the Too Sweet sign with the Balor Club, but I mean, I would have rather the Balor Club just beat him up. It's like let him get like something over on DX or something. Like use DX to actually put them over or something. And doing that, it's like, that's not that interesting. They just did the Too Sweet sign with DX. That's it. I don't really care. It's like, all right. I would have rather Balor Club just beat the crap out of them, but, it's probably the most notable things I'm thinking of that the Legends did, like Mean Gene Okerlund interviewing AJ Styles. I'm like, oh, that's cool. I never thought I'd see something like that. I mean, Mean Gene looks a little older, but probably couldn't do too much. But just seeing him with AJ Styles, I'm like, all right, that was pretty neat. I like that. But other than that, there just wasn't a whole lot. Like Chris Jericho, they gave him almost nothing. He kind of gave like a little bit of a rub to Elias, but it's like you've got Chris Jericho coming off this hot match from New Japan, and he was wearing the Alpha Club shirt, which was shocking to me. But I was like, you didn't think to do anything else with him, like in front of the crowd or anything? I'm like, Jericho's kind of the hot shit right now in the wrestling world, and you didn't think to like do a little bit more with him? Why did Cena get to interact with Elias instead of like do something with Jericho? I mean, granted, Cena did let Elias beat the crap out of him, which was nice, but it's just I think my problem with these nostalgia centric shows is that it's just kind of like, oh hey, remember all these old people? Hey, remember when Raw was cool? Remember that? And that's pretty much all it is. And there comes a point where nostalgia kind of wears off, especially when I've seen it, like Austin beating up the McMahons or a DX reunion, where I've just seen it. I've seen it enough. It's not special anymore, and it's not enough to really hold my interest for a 3-hour event. Thankfully, I'd heard rumors that it was going to be like a 4 or 5 hour show. Fortunately, they didn't do that to us, but if you're not going to do anything interesting with the Legends, I mean, most of them were just used in the backstage segment with APA anyway, and and then a bunch of them just got brought out on the stage. It's like, hey, remember these people? And that's it, which is, okay, it's cool to see them, but they didn't really do anything, so it's not going to be that memorable a couple weeks from now. Although that pop that Eric Bischoff got legitimately shocked me. I was like, really? I was like, I did not expect that at all. Wow. But yeah, it's like they brought Eric Bischoff back, but he didn't do anything. So it's like, oh, okay, whatever. It was just, it was something that they hyped up as something that was like this big deal. It was a big celebration of Raw for 25 years, and really, it was just kind of it was just a very it felt like a Legends show. Like, if you go to like an indie fed that's doing a Legends show, that's kind of what it felt like. It's like, oh, hey, remember all these old people? Here you go. And that's it. That's all it is. And if that's enough to entertain you, it's like, all right, cool, but I was expecting maybe they'll do something huge and meaty to kind of like give like a final push to the Royal Rumble, or do something like earth-shattering that'll be shocking or something. I don't know. Yeah, I'm trying to think of some other stuff they did. They did Bray Wyatt versus Woken Matt Hardy, which could be the first match. They may do a WrestleMania match. I've already, like, speculated. It's like, what if they do, like, a Final Deletion style match at WrestleMania with those two? I don't know. I still think Bray has been severely damaged, and they're going to have to do a lot to get him back up to that level and start having him doing, like, crazy shit on par with Woken Matt Hardy, and maybe you can do something with it. But yeah, there just wasn't much to talk about on this show, and that's the other thing about it. It's just basically it's just a bunch of, hey, remember that guy, and that's basically most of the events. So yeah, this thing was kind of like a clip show. Really, that's really what it kind of felt like. It kind of felt like a clip show that wasn't really a clip show. They just brought everybody out to reenact stuff that they did 25 years ago, or 15 years ago, or whatever the case may be. So yeah, it was just kind of a nothing show for me. I'm not saying I completely hated it. I just thought it was kind of, oh, that was it. Okay. Yeah, but we've got the Royal Rumble this Sunday, and that'll be like the major launch pad to getting into WrestleMania season. So hopefully we get some really good shows during WrestleMania season, and the build-up to WrestleMania is really good. But I'm not going to hold my breath, unfortunately. God, I'm so jaded now. That's terrible. It's really terrible. I don't like being... I feel like I sound like this snob that can't be pleased. I'm like, look, fucking, like... I like NXT. I like what NXT does. Dude, if they do Gargano versus Ciampa WrestleMania weekend, I am there like a motherfucker. New Japan. I loved Wrestle Kingdom. It's one of my favorite wrestling shows, at least in the last few years. I just loved almost every second of it. And Lucha Underground, I can't wait for Season 4. When is Season 4 coming? I want to see more. Give me more. I'm typically a pretty chill wrestling fan. I typically like the stuff that I'm given, but... main roster WWE is just not doing it for me right now, and yeah, I guess that's all there is. But yeah, so I'm gonna try and knock out some other videos this week. Fortunately or unfortunately, depending on how you look at it, the government shutdown, which impacted me on Monday, and I got to work from home on Monday, got resolved surprisingly quickly. So I'm actually right back to work. I had to go back into work today, so. That cuts into my timeline a little bit on what videos I'm going to be able to film this week, but I'm still going to try and get them all done this week. This will be the first one, and I'll have a few more lined up for you this week heading into the Royal Rumble. But until then, guys, y'all take it easy. Y'all continue to enjoy your week, and stay tuned for more.